I'm Henry English,
Good morning.
Director of the Small Farm Program here at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And this is a marketing workshop. In this particular project, I guess we partnered with East Arkansas, EAEC, and also Dr. Robert Cole, who also works for UAPB. And at the university, we have a excellent, I guess, sweet potato program and a Southern pea program. In fact, in the Southern pea program, we're releasing 2 new varieties this year, I guess, UAPB1 and UAPB2. Don't have enough time to really get into that, and I get into that maybe at the production meeting. And also with the sweet potatoes, we have the sweet potato, I guess, seed foundation program, whereas we produce these virus-tested seed potatoes, and what we want to do is eventually sell those to the farmers. Right now, the farmers have to go to Louisiana, Mississippi to get the virus-free seed. But in the future, we hope that they'll be able to get them here at UAPB. And one of the things that we do, I guess, is we do have people that are growing southern peas, and people that are growing sweet potatoes. And my job in the past has been more on the production end. And Dr. Cole does more of the marketing. EAEC handles the marketing. And this is a marketing workshop, so Dr. Cole would do a lot of the speaking on the marketing. But I do want to say on the production, one of the things that we do is we're out visiting the farmers one-on-one. And what we try to do is do a weekly visit. We have people in the communities, in the local counties that are doing the one-on-one visit. I myself may come out maybe once a month. Dr. Najui, he may come out once a month. Ms. Crosby, we may come out once a month. But we do have people that make weekly visits to these particular farms. And we have people here from both Walmart and from Bright Harvest to tell you about some of the marketing opportunities. And one of the big problems with alternative crops or vegetables is the market. So with that, I'm going to stop and let Dr. Cole tell you maybe just a little bit about what he's going to say about the southern pea and the sweet potato market.
First of all, thank you, Dr. English, for tricking me. I was supposed to be his sidekick, just wanted to kind of be here and be on the side. But one thing I'm noticing about the configuration of the room, these posts in the middle. So there are some seats on this side that, unless you just want to be where you are, then I would like to see some of you move to this side. If you look on page 13 of your booklet, you probably already have, we have Ashley Smith from Walmart that will talk about the Walmart initiative. So I think that what I'll do, I'll just try to talk a little bit about, Dr. English talked some about the production. We'll talk about the production if we need to. But we're really talking about buying. So I'll talk about our role that we play. And we got DNS in Pine Bluff that work with the farmers here in Jefferson County. And they also work with us and Walmart in this initiative. The East Arkansas Enterprise community has been involved in pea marketing. We've been trying to help farmers market peas since about 2007. We bought a harvesting machine over in eastern Arkansas, and we built a market with Memphis and Little Rock and other places, local restaurants and so forth. And finally, we just didn't have a dependable market for the farmers' peas. That we serve as a co-op for the farmer. Farmers are members of this initiative. It's not a legalized co-op. The enterprise community is a legal organization, a 501c3. And we serve as that arm between the farmer and the Walmart or the other distribution centers. What we actually do is purchase from the farmer, where the farmer can get paid, and then we deal with the buyer. In this case, we're talking about Walmart. Walmart, it was about 2 years ago, here at the Pine Bluff campus, came and talked to a group of farmers, a group of others, about crops that they wanted to buy local. And as we sit in the audience and listen, we were working with farmers primarily in eastern Arkansas, at St. Francis, Cross, Lee, Phillips, and Monroe counties. Those were the counties that we were working primarily with farmers with. And since we had been growing peas, we had quite a bit of the equipment necessary to process it. We also, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, own a facility. It's a 13,000 square feet facility in Marietta that through a joint initiative, they were allowing us to use 2 bays of that facility to work in. So we had a pretty good setup to say to Walmart that we could market peas to them. And this was a great, actually, I'm an old USDA employee, retired in '94. And I've been working with nonprofits and others, UAPB, since that time. I won't go into the fact that I work because I don't know anything else to do, but that's kind of why I think I still work. And I enjoy thinking that I'm helping to facilitate some things to happen. So that's kind of how we got involved. We had an organization out of Jackson, Mississippi that gave us some funds to buy from farmers. That fund is still there because when we buy from farmers, we sell and we put that money back. A lot of the farmers were having problems having to wait. Now Walmart, they pay us within 30 days. But some farmers, particularly small farmers, when you have to pay somebody to hand pick and so forth, you really don't want to, some maybe can't afford to wait 30 days. So we buy from the farmer, and then we have the responsibility for meeting all of the Walmart requirements. But the farmers also have a responsibility for meeting that requirement. That starts with production. If you're going to hand pick, is one thing, but if you want to use the harvester that we got, and we got another one almost on order for this year because we're expanding the program to meet Walmart and other demands. Now, we don't sell everything that we grow to Walmart because we don't want to get all our eggs in one nest. But in the past, we had some time when we couldn't sell them, we had to freeze them or we had to smell them. But this last year, we didn't have to smell any and we didn't have to freeze any. Now, we did freeze some because we wanted some peas to eat throughout the year, but we didn't have to. So what I'm saying is that the market was there. Now, we know that some farmers can pay, can get more for their peas by going to the farmer's market or going to some other local places to sell. More than what we pay the wholesale price. That amounts to about $13 to $15 a bushel. And we're talking about a 22-pound bushel. Now, we know that some farmers at some time in the year get $18 to $20 a bushel. And that's what we want them to do. But if, rather than to have to smell them when you can't sell them, you have a market. And we will buy them provided you bring us a good quality pea. Now, what is a good quality pea to us? Whether it's hand-picked or machinery harvest. Most of us refer to a bushel as a 22 pounds. If you shell that bushel out and you get 11 pounds of peas, that's a 50% shell-out rate. That's a good quality pea. If you shell that bushel out, and we've had some people to shell out a bushel and get 80%. Ebony, you in the audience?
Right here, right here.
What is 80% of 22 pounds?
That's about 18 pounds.
That's our physical officer and our money man. That's about 18 pounds. So that bushel is worth more than the one that shelled out at 50%. So we pay up to 70 cents, but Ebony and I have been talking to reward those growers that bring in good quality peas. We realize that this year we're going to have to pay probably up to about 80 cents a pound. But that's it's all going to be based on the shell out. And 50% is what we think is a good quality pea. If it's less than that, we can buy it, but you won't get the full amount for it. Now, we had some growers that brought in peas that shell out 25%. Well, what's that? About 6.5, 5.5 pounds out of 22 pounds? We don't want those at all because it's not cost efficient for us to have to process them. But we challenged Walmart. They told us how many they wanted. They also agreed to handle the shipping for us. We learned how to receive the pea and to keep it cool because the pea start dying once it come off the vine. And we have to keep it cool, and where Walmart would have shelf life. So within 24 and under no condition more than 36 hours after pea is harvested, we want it to be on that Walmart truck going to that distribution center, which will give them about 5 good days of shelf life. In some cases, they've had 7. But that's many times that's up to the farmer. Now, that's kind of what we do. We buy from the farmer. We realize that not all the peas are going to be exactly the same quality, but it's got to be a good quality. And it's got to meet certain health standards and requirements. So we got a process that we go through with each individual farmer to make sure that if something happens, every clamshell of peas, we process them and package them in clamshells. And every clamshell is marked where if it gets to a Walmart store and somebody buy it and there's something wrong with it, see, somebody might decide to sue Walmart, okay? Then Walmart will be a part of that lawsuit. Of course, we have to share all of the good things with everybody. So we can track that pea back to what farm or what farmer it came from. So then we'll share that good news with them too. Fortunately, we try to avoid that by being careful with food security and following the requirements. So far, we haven't had any problem, but we know and we read about those things that happen every day. So that's kind of how we get from the field to the processing facility to a cooler. We got freezers and coolers, walk-in freezers and coolers, and get the pea on the truck. Now, once we get it on the truck, it becomes Walmart's responsibility. We put a seal on the truck, and it's not open until it gets to their distribution center. Now, I'm supposed to be the facilitator, but Dr. English asked me to kind of talk about how we get it from the field to Walmart. So, Ms. Smith, Ashley, will you take over here?
Well,
Are there any questions about that process? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we could just turn off the presentation because he just pretty much covered it a heck of a lot better than I will. So,
Well, you didn't let me see your presentation.
well, let's see if I can work this thing. Get started. So, okay. So I am Ashley Smith, and I'm the Regional Merchandise Manager for the state of Arkansas, as well as I cover a little bit of Missouri as well. But my role is mainly the liaison between the home office in Bentonville to the stores in the state of Arkansas. So the local produce buyers were not able to be here today, so they asked me to come and speak on behalf of Walmart, since we've sold the purple whole peas in our stores. Okay, great, thank you. So so I will do my best to cover the local procurement process, and then kind of tell you what we did once it launched in stores. So here are our local produce buyers, and at the end during questions I'll leave this slide up in case you want one of their names. But that is who you would contact when these buyers, if you are interested in selling to Walmart stores. However, we'll go into detail on the co-ops and different things like that. So again, if you have an issue with your local Walmart store, you can call or email me. I'm the first one up there. So hopefully we are serving you and your community well within our stores. But if not, let me know. So as Dr. Cole mentioned, our safety requirements are necessary for the company of our scale. And so here is, we audit multiple different times. We audit the co-ops and we audit the actual grower as well. So both field and pack house, we will do an audit while harvesting and packing operations are being performed. And then an annual audit that every one of our suppliers goes through, from Sony Electronics to the grower here in Forest City, Arkansas. So an audit process for all vendors across our entire company. So we will accept any GFSI benchmark field standard audit or one of these audits listed below here. And then here are some of the GFSI benchmark standards that we do use, which you guys probably know of this. And then they gave me, the local procurement buyers gave me some useful links for you guys if you are interested in looking at some of the audit requirements. So onfarmfoodsafety.org will take you to that. And again, if you need any of this information, just let me know at the end and I'll give it to you, but it's kind of a boring slide, so we'll go on. More safety tools. So as Dr. Cole said, we are very concerned across our whole store on the liability that we have on our shoulders to take care of our customers and make sure they are safe. So you will see lots of food safety, lots of audits for our product that we sell within our stores. So third-party management. In most cases, we buy our local produce through a third party. So in this case, C.H. Robinson is who we use for most of our state as a third-party representative. So in all cases, you do not have to be a Walmart supplier to sell to Walmart. You would sell to either a co-op or you would sell to the C.H. Robinson group that then would come and purchase or sell to us. So you don't always have to be a Walmart approved supplier to sell to Walmart locally. Why do we do third-party selling? Mainly just so we have people out in the field that can help train, educate you guys on the Walmart culture, on how we operate, from a transportation standpoint on how can we help you with freight. We have the largest trucking industry in the world, so let us help you. So that's another reason why we use third party there. Volume planning, understanding what do we need, what's the scale of what we need from each of you, or how can we group a bunch of you together and still buy from you, such as the co-ops. Okay, so that was kind of what the buyers gave me to say, here's some of the requirements for selling to Walmart. And the fun side for me is when it gets into store. And so we'll kind of walk a little bit of that process, such as Dr. Cole explained. So here are the peas that we carried in our store started in August. And it was exclusive to Walmart. These peas were grown for Walmart. So very exciting. And then, as Dr. Cole mentioned, from a co-op out of Forest City, Arkansas. So here locally grown for our customers. I would say this program in general is just the result of a lot of hard work by many individuals, but more importantly from our growers. And so that this was in conjunction with the Adrian White project. Is that right? Okay. That was called Growing the Future, USDA and Walmart. So a program that began in February and focuses on Walmart working with underprivileged farmers and minority farmers across the state of Arkansas. So February is when we fully launched that program. We expect these new items to bring about $300,000 back to the farmers in their communities so they can help, and so it gives them a job and it provides that money for them so they can feed their families as well. So $300,000 is what we expected off of this program to pay our local farmers. Let's see. The other thing I would say is it also brings a great new product that you cannot find in any other retailer at this time to our customer. So currently they have to buy frozen or jarred or just canned peas, and they can actually buy fresh peas within a retailer, or they buy them on the farmer's market or street at this time. So great opportunity, exclusive to Walmart, and our customers responded well with it. So this partnership was all about finding the right crop grower, dedicated growers, then the planting, the harvesting, the processing, the storage, and the shelf life, and then eventually getting that product to market. So as Dr. Cole mentioned, here's this facility in Marianna where they sorted and processed the peas to get them ready to ship to our DC. So here's just a couple different pictures. So this top left is our Walmart truck pulling into Marianna, which I think was a very happy, exciting time for everyone involved. So you often see our trucks driving down the highway, but not many times do you see them driving down a little country road in Marianna. So very exciting. We did come, and you can see over here they're loading the peas onto our trucks, our refrigerated trucks, which then you can see the temperature gauge down there as well. So very, very important from a shelf life standpoint to make sure we keep these in the refrigerator. So there's this, and then that last picture down there in the bottom right-hand corner. So I would say this picture shows a lot of hard work and dedication from a grower in Arkansas who had 5 bushels of fresh picked peas and that they brought to this facility, and we were able to use them and bring them to Walmart. So maybe they didn't have a 50-acre farm to be able to grow a ton of peas, but they were able to bring 5 bushels and get money for that so they can bring it back to their family. So just a new, neat opportunity that we haven't been able to do in the past, and we can help support farmers. So I think I like that picture. It's kind of hard to see, but a very good thing. More pictures of just the processes of getting those peas from start to the finish was on the last page. But when we launched this program within our stores, we made sure and communicated to our store management, hey, this is locally grown. We showed them some of these pictures. We showed some of the hard work and the people who we were helping support within our community. So just a lot of positive feedback from our stores here. So then merchandise strategy. So this is my job. I'm the merchandise manager for the state. So communicating to them what have the buyers put together for us, and what are we going to do at store level. So telling them, here's where you place it in the store, here's how you get it in, and like Dr. Cole said, we have one distribution center in Arkansas. It's in Clarksville. And so taking those peas from the processing plant to our distribution center, and then the distribution center putting it on a different truck for each different store. We have 98 stores in the state of Arkansas, and that's from everything from an express news store that's in Northwest Arkansas to our little store that's smaller than this room on the on the University of Arkansas campus. So just in total box, we have 98 in Arkansas. So just the shelf life, that's what I was getting with that. Sorry. So the shelf life, very important. And training our associates that as soon as that comes in the back door on that refrigerated truck, how important it is to get it straight out either to the cooler or straight out to the shelf in our refrigerated wall, so it's available for our customers. So told them what kind of signing to use. We do have locally grown signing that we are happy about. Our customers respond well to it, and they like to buy local. We've learned that, and they've told us loud and clear, and we are listening to them and continuing this initiative of locally grown. I would say that Alabama had a similar program to this last year and sold fresh Purple Hull peas in their stores. And whenever we looked at, hey, equal comparisons, the state of Arkansas did sell more than Alabama, so we are very excited about that. But I think
be nice now. Be nice.
sorry.
The truth is the truth.
Be nice.
Well, they sold more grain.
Yeah, they definitely sold more grains, probably.
We sold more watermelon.
So, but just a friendly competition there between the states and doing and selling fresh product. So real quick, I just wanted to mention sweet potatoes and why and how we're doing a couple of things locally here. So Delta Blues is a co-op that Dr. Cole has helped us with. They are let me get my little notes, hold on. There's 12 growers, and 8 of those growers are minorities, and they use Dr. Cole's to get into, if you're interested, utilizing him to get into this co-op for sweet potatoes. So this is a woman-owned company. Kim Matthews owns this company and operates this company, and she also operates the Matthew Ridge View Farms and Wynn. So just a call out there for another co-op opportunity that Dr. Cole helps us with. So I showed this slide just to show you that at times, not always, but at times, buying local helps reduce the cost of the product, so then we can share that cost savings with our customer. So right here you can see the purple, the green, and the blue dot are sweet potato farms that we currently are purchasing from. And all those red dots are Walmart distribution centers, grocery distribution centers. We have general merchandise ones as well. You may be familiar with the one in Searcy. That would be general merchandise. So here's our fresh food distribution centers. And then here you can see when we were buying some of this product from Snow Hill, North Carolina, you can see in the red line how many miles our truckers were driving to pick up this product. And you can only imagine the transportation costs that cost Walmart and our Walmart trucks to go that distance. So you can see on the blue line how much that's cut in half and when we purchased from Wynn. So the bigger story of this is that it saved us transportation costs that we passed on to our customers. So when they buy it in our store, it's at the true everyday low price. So just a slide that not always does it work, but a lot of times it significantly helps us. So here's a produce department, and you can see some locally grown signs there. Our big thing in produce is that we have worked hard to make our produce look very good and strong. So oftentimes that's the first thing you see when you walk in our store is produce, and if it's a mess, then you just automatically think the whole store is a mess, and you aren't interested in shopping with us. So working hard to improve the perception of our produce. We have great fresh products. We don't hand stack quite like Kroger or do things like that just from a labor standpoint, but how do we really show our offerings? So the locally grown program has really helped us. Here you can see again some watermelons in the signing that we put on our shelf. And that little bitty sign right there also tells you where it came from, so what city in the state of Arkansas. So just overall, again, our customers respond well to when they know where it's from. So I'll take any questions, and I'll leave this slide up in case you did want some of their information. But I'll take any questions. Again, I represent the store side, but if I do not know the answer, I will give your name and number and find out. Yes, sir?
Yeah, I was just curious, has the volume of peas been committed for Arkansas this year already?
Have we committed to our volume that we're purchasing from you guys?
Yes, we've actually been asked to triple what we did last year. We haven't given a positive yes to that. We know that there are growers that can grow, but we don't have all of the necessary and modern automated equipment to process. So we don't want to make a commitment that we can't honor. But we've been asked to triple what we've done, what we did last year.
What was that volume per week last year?
I think DNS and Enterprise was something like about 30 to 45,000 pounds. It was 30,000 early on, and by the end, I haven't seen that report, but about 45,000 pounds. We've also been asked if we could possibly look at, so Walmart is getting space for peas. If they're doing it in Arkansas, they've been told, according to my understanding, that they needed space in Oklahoma and Texas for peas. The customers in Texas and Oklahoma want Walmart peas. So we've been asked if we could participate to some level to support those initiatives and help growers there. Now I understand that there may be growers in Texas, but they're not necessarily Walmart, selling to Walmart. So the answer to your question is yes, we've been asked to triple, and capacity for processing is the main thing. I would like to say that when the enterprise community started the processing, we didn't plan on running a processing facility that long. Our intent was to manage it a while and have a co-op to take it over and continue it. We still take that same position. We would like to be able to transition it to a co-op where growers would have more control and they could keep the money within the co-op. But right now, our main initiative was to help farmers and to support USDA and helping to find markets for the growers. We've also been asked this year, could we look at watermelons and sweet potatoes and winter greens or fall greens for additional crops?
Mr. Cole, what size of melon are you interested in?
We don't. I don't really know yet because we haven't decided whether we're going to take that challenge on. But they are more interested in the family small melons. Mr. Eldridge may be able to help me on that because he likes to grow the 100-pound. But they don't want those kind. Mr. Eldridge?
Yeah, we still see the market locally for the large watermelons. But going to those merchandise centers, I think you want the small, the
Maybe what?
ice box.
15, 20 pounds?
The 35 count is what they're emphasizing, and that's in that 20, 22 pound
I was
range.
thinking of 22 pounds, the smaller melon.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to cut this presentation off right now. We have another speaker. You get a chance to ask them questions, I guess, at the end of the workshop. But we have Mr. Jerry Coffey here from Bright Harvest, and we want him to talk to us about the sweet potato market at Bright Harvest.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll try to keep this short. I'm kind of old school. I like to have a piece of paper in my hand, and I don't have a presentation for you. But real briefly, I grew up on a farm, was born there probably before all of you all were born, way back when. But right, Dr. Caldwell, we probably kind of run a tie here. But I do believe in farming, because growing up on that dairy farm, I began to learn pretty quick as a kid and growing up that the value of farming and what it's all about. And so I certainly appreciate what farmers do to feed the world. You know, you think about it, as the population of the world is increasing with the global economy and everything else, for us to feed the whole world is going to be a real challenge, probably. But anyway, we need to be doing our part in every way, every year, to move in the right direction. Specific to sweet potatoes, I wear two hats at our Bright Harvest sweet potato operation. I am involved in procuring the sweet potatoes for the plant, and we use, last year in 2011, we used about 39 million pounds of sweet potatoes, processing potatoes that came in to make our various products. And then the other hat that I wear is selling industrial products to people like Nestle's, to Ore-Ida, to Pig Sweet over in Bells, Tennessee. A lot of these people that take our product and they repack it, they do something else with it. So I'm involved in that, and I just came back from a American Frozen Food Institute meeting in San Diego, and I go every year. It's a good place where buyers and sellers get together, and that's where you try to hunt down your next sales opportunity. And I came back from that meeting really pumped up and encouraged, because there's a good wave of excitement and an encouragement for sweet potatoes, driven by the health benefit of sweet potatoes. So I think we're going to see a lot of things happening in sweet potatoes over the years. And including export. Now, we're not an export company, but we're interested in seeing what that's involved. So I met with some export buyers and showed them some of our products, and they're pretty excited about that. But of course, there's a lot of work between an excitement idea and the purchase order and getting the product delivered. So a lot of work to do. Specific to the potatoes, as they move, the ones that don't look like a county fair potato that sells to the Walmart or the fresh people, because we as customers are becoming more and more critical and demanding of things. So the potatoes got to look pretty perfect. We deal with the ones that don't look quite that perfect. They're still wholesome potatoes. They're something we can build our products from. So that's where we come into play, and that's where the 39 million pounds of potatoes came. A lot of them from Arkansas, a lot from Mississippi, some from Alabama. We bought a few loads from North Carolina, and some from even California back early. And then obviously, because of in Ashley's chart where she showed the distance from your product, we want to buy our product as close to our plant as we can, and then we'd like to ship it everywhere then, but we ship it where we can. But anyway, we're buying the acreage in Arkansas swing potatoes grown is continuing to grow, and we're going to see good things about that. And then we can support this Growing in Arkansas initiative and all that. So I left some material here for any of you to pick up if you want to, but Dr. Cole has worked really hard, and he and Iris, especially Iris, he transfers things over and she gets it done. I found that out pretty quick. But in this little handout, and you're welcome to take it, this is where every company, every processor, everybody that uses product, they've got to have all the bells and whistles that show what you sprayed on the crop, how you handled it, how you seal the truck, how, you know, your liability insurance, all of that. And that's Dr. Cole and Iris put all that together of the products, of the sweet potatoes that we're going to take to our plant from the people that grew. And we are always, as we grow, we may be looking for additional suppliers. Right now, it's going to work good to pull through that group, because I guarantee you it's hard for a small farmer to do all the bells and whistles on your way. Now, when you get to be big, like Matthew Ridgeview, we buy from them, but they did a lot of work putting a lot of things together before they could be approved as one of our suppliers. So anyway, I want to leave that. You're welcome to take that, and I don't know how we're doing on time, but I can. Okay. Anyway, the one thing on the audits that Ashley brought up and Dr. Cole talked about a little bit, the making sure that all the information is right, and you sprayed the right stuff on the potatoes, and all of that works. I visited with a farmer last year. We were talking about the audits and all of these things, and he just went through an audit, and he was very frustrated because he said, Jerry, he said, I did all these things, but they said I had to have it in writing. And you know, let's face it, that's the world anymore. You can do all these things, you know, you can go to church and everything else and whatever, but if you don't have it in writing where you can prove it, then it's like you didn't do it. So anyway, those things are important. I'll give you a live example. This happened to us twice last year, and it was a big deal. Our products are made, this allergen thing, I love peanuts, and man, Parks peanuts, I can make myself sick on Parks peanuts. I love them. But in our product, we cannot have, and you could read it in that material, you know, we can't have, on the same truck with a peanut, I mean, with a sweet potato, you can't have a peanut or a soybean or everything else. Last year, it happened twice to us, and we couldn't believe, I mean, the first time we couldn't believe it, the second time we really couldn't believe it. But we brought a load of potatoes in, and we opened it up and walked the truck to inspect, and found, unfortunately, on one load, we had already unloaded some. We had to clean the whole plant and everything else. But on that load of sweet potatoes, it had been harvested in an area where some volunteer peanuts had come up, and there were some vines of peanuts in there, and there's no tolerance on that. We had to throw that load of potatoes away, and we had to wash our plant down, and it was a big deal. So that's that. And then, so like I said, it had happened once, and then it happened the second time. Not the vine peanut, but we found some peanuts, and we had to go through the same process. It was expensive for us and for the farmer, and that's why you got to check you got to do all the bells and whistles and check and make sure that you're only hauling sweet potatoes, because I mean obviously if somebody that's allergic to peanuts and they ate our sweet potato patty or any of our products, and they could get sick and choke and die, and so it's a big deal. But it's important to have all this stuff lined up, and and you can prove in writing with all of the documentation that what you did is what you promised to deliver. Don't know of anything else. Like I say, we make various products, and I could talk all day about products. We've been making sweet potato fries for 3 years now, and we knew a lot about sweet potatoes, we thought, because I've worked in that plant. I've been involved in frozen foods for almost all my working career, and then involved in sweet potatoes since 1982, and so we. And I'm not the only one that has some knowledge on that, but anyway, we felt like we knew a lot about sweet potatoes. But sweet potato fries, that was a new venture for us, and we learned a lot in 3 years. We're getting it down to pretty good rhythm now, our sweet potato fries stack up there well, and they have all through the time. Our product was good, we just weren't as efficient as we need to be. But we're getting there, and we're looking forward to good growth through the years, hopefully. Knock on wood, last year was our biggest sales year ever, and so hopefully we're going in the right direction. The Grown in Arkansas initiative that Products of Arkansas that Ashley talked about, I'm encouraged about that because we can help in that in some way, and you farmers can benefit from that because it's you got to have some stuff up in lights, and if you can tout your state or your county or anything else, then all of us from that area, we'll pay a little bit more, or we'll definitely go buy that Arkansas grown product when we might not if it's grown in California or somewhere else. It's the way we're built. Okay, that's all I had. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them. Yeah.
Can you talk about the types of potatoes that you purchase?
Yes, yes. The variety of potatoes, we have three varieties that are approved that we find we can make our products out of to good benefit and that our customers like, and that's the Beauregard variety, the Covington variety, and the Evangeline, I believe, and there are other varieties that are coming out, and as soon as we can get some of those enough to test, then we test them. And we're not big enough to, as a processor, and probably none of the processors are quite big enough yet to dictate the variety that you grow. We try to marry up with and try to follow along with the table stock market. But right now, the Beauregard, the Covington, Evangeline, those are pretty much accepted varieties of sweet potatoes that are sold in the fresh market in the veggie bins, and then therefore we take the off grade or the too longs or the too bigs or whatever and make our product out of that. Size, okay, yeah, good question. Size sweet potato. We take a potato from probably 1 3/4 inch in diameter up to as big as you want to grow it. Now then, we can't take them all on the same truck necessarily. I mean, we can buy 1 3/4 inch up. It could come out of harvest. We buy some of that, some right out of harvest. That we can make our products with, and we can sort that. But then when we get deeper into our production year, especially, we do some sliced potatoes, and naturally you want to slice a potato to be a certain size. You don't want one slice that's a little bitty and one that's that big. So we have to be kind of consistent on that. So our slice, when we're running slicers, we want a potato that's 1 3/4 to about 2 1/4, so in that zone, and we can do some of that sizing. But if you've got a load that's in that zone, then we can handle that on certain production days. You have some that are bigger, like the bigger, and the price is a little bit better on the big jumbo potatoes when we can use them because we get a better yield out of that. It's a geometry thing. The big potato has more meat as related to the peel than a small one, so there's a yield compensation there. So, any other questions?
Can you talk about the brick level?
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, Iris brought up another thing. On the bricks for our French fry potatoes, not all of our customers, but most of our customers require that the bricks level needs to be a 9.0. A bricks level, which indicates the amount of sugar. And the bricks is not a super scientific, but it's an indicator, and that's the sugar level that potato has before we can make a fry. And the reason they're interested in that, some's for sweetness, but some's for the way it fries up, the color of the fry. So that's important. And typically a potato coming right out of harvest will have a bricks level of 5 or 6 or 6.5, or it might be 7 or something, and then the longer it sits, or if it goes through its quick cure. I mean, there's a quick cure that a lot of farmers use, which is 7 days in a controlled environment with 80% relative humidity and 80-degree Fahrenheit, and then you back it off and you put it down and cool, and that usually brings that Brix level up there to that 9, 9.5, whatever, and then it'll and then it'll stay there where it needs to be, throughout its life. And another thing about sweet potatoes, and you all, if y'all grown sweet potatoes, you already know that. But because our granddads, they used to put sweet potatoes in these little insulated houses, and they would put a fire in there and let some warm air go up in there, and so that's the way they cured it. And then they put them in a cool place, the coolest place they could find, in a cellar or whatever, and kept them as long as they could keep them, so that when we came home as hungry kids, we could go get a sweet potato that Mama had baked and chow down on it. But it is important to where you keep your potatoes. In today's world, you've got to keep good air circulating through those potatoes. You've got to maintain some humidity in there, around 70–80% humidity, give or take some, and you need to ideally keep it down to 55–60 degrees. If you can keep that potato for 60 degrees with that kind of air circulation, that potato will still be sitting there waiting for you to eat it, and it's good 14 months later, 12, 14 months later. Give or take, that's all, depending on how you manage it. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now I want to open it up for questions on either about the peas or about sweet potatoes. But let me mention this while it's on my mind. I think when Dr. Cole made his presentation, one thing I remember about is they provide an additional service. A lot of the harvesting, they help out with the harvesting, that mechanical harvesting. And I've been trying to figure out the cost of it. I think it's about $300 a day. That's another service that you guys provide. Now here in Pine Bluff, all ours is hand harvesting. It's about $700 an acre, but you providing that service, the harvesting service, that's a big help, because that's where most of the expense is. Also, out in the exhibit, we have an exhibit on our sweet potato program and our pea program. So when you leave this workshop, we want you to go by that exhibit and take a look at that. So with that, I'm open up for questions, and if Dr. Cole, you want to comment on the harvesting or what have you can.
One of the things that we found out, and the peas that you mentioned in the bag, those are five bushel, those were hand-picked peas. And so we buy both hand-picked and machine harvested. But in trying to get growers involved, most growers don't have small families, or families that don't pick peas anymore like I did growing up, and some of you. So in order for them to participate, they had to have some help in harvesting. So we bought, the enterprise community bought a harvester. At that time, that was $206, $205. It cost like $32,000 then. It costs about $37 now. I think Dr. O'Cure bought one a couple of years ago, $37. And we're in the process of trying to buy another one, and we have like a $40,000 budget, but wait for that. But the way it works, farmers sign up in the program, and we have to put a cap on how many acres, because this harvester has to be used by a group of farmers, not just one farmer. And it'll only do about 3 acres a day. It's a one-row harvester, tractor driven, pulled by a tractor. But it really will do if you got a clean crop, and if you grow the variety of peas that's breeded for machine harvest, it will really do a good job. And if you keep it clean, we've had some to come in and they don't have to be graded, because you just got pure peas there. That crate that those crates that you saw on the trailer, those were machine harvest peas. And UAPB, we gave the harvester to UAPB, and UAPB, we work out a planting schedule with Dr. Dewey and Dr. English, help us with the farmers, so that everybody's peas won't come off the same time. That works pretty good, but you can't control the weather. That's still, that's still not a guarantee. But we loan the harvester to the farmer. We have someone to go with it now. At first we didn't, but now we have to have a staff person to go with the harvester. Very seldom do we have to say, no, we can't put the harvester in this field. But occasionally we do, because if it's got a lot of vegetation grown up, not clean, it's going to help tear up the harvester, the vines. If you didn't plant, you can buy the regular old purple hull peas that you hand pick. You can buy those seeds a lot cheaper than you can those that's been breeded from machine harvesting. And farmers will tend to want to buy that cheap 50-pound bag of peas, but they can't use the harvester because it tears the harvester up. The vines wrap around it, and we just had to stop doing that. Those were some lessons learned. But the enterprise community is a nonprofit, and the objective is not to make money off the farmer. It's to help to facilitate the market. And we provide that service, and it's very cheap. I think maybe like $1.50 a bushel for using the machine. We don't always charge that, but that's the price that we got set. Whereas hand-picked, if you have to hire somebody, I farm too, and I try to get my peas picked for $3 a bushel, and they tell me no. That's the old sharecropping price. And Doolittle, I think what they have to pay about $5 a bucket now for picking, maybe more, and that's pretty. We realize that's pretty expensive, but that's kind of the way it is. I hope that we can work on getting one of those automated harvesters that they have that can do 4 rows and shell all the same time, but I got to see that before. It probably costs a couple of $100,000. But there is an opportunity there for somebody to own one of those machines and do custom harvest. We would like to see that happen. Because there's an opportunity, there's a need for it, and the little 1-row one that we got, even 2 1-row won't do enough. We got 155 acres committed for this year, and so some of that's going to have to be hand harvest, and the other machine harvest. But it would be, we could do a lot. That's one of the reasons that we can't commit. We don't have all of the equipment to not only get the harvesting done, but the processing.
I got a question for Mr. Cole. You were saying on picking those bees and shelling them out to grade your price.
Right.
So at what time you gonna grade them out to know how much that I get paid for?
Okay. Actually, what we used to do, at first we wasn't grading, and we found out that we were paying the same price for the 25% shell out that we were paying for the 70% shell out. That wasn't fair to the farmer that had good quality feed, and it wasn't fair to the processors, because when you got through shelling and paying for that 25% shell out fee, you didn't have anything. And so we had to stop that. We started doing sampling. When you bring your pea, we have those crates, those white crates that you saw. You can borrow those. If we go to machine harvest where you have a bunch of them at a time, you can borrow those. And when you bring those, we'll shell out a couple of bushels. And that will give you an indicator and give us an indicator of the quality of your pea. So we can tell you about what your price will be right there before we agree to buy it, or before you agree to sell it. As soon as we get it, all of your peas processed, which is usually within 24 hours, then within never any longer than 7 days, you'll have your check.